In here we're training like you fight, and this week we are looking at the Ronin Tactics Senshi Belt. So if you guys haven't heard about these belts, you're really doing yourself a disservice, because these are probably some of the best war belts out there right now. And Ronin Tactics makes a few different belts. This one in particular is the Senshi Belt, and the only thing that really makes it the Senshi Belt is that it has a special two-tone liner or two-tone moly webbing on the side here. That's what makes it the Senshi Belt versus the Task Force belt. And it also does include the D-ring right here on the Cobra buckle. So this thing is optimized for military and law enforcement use. And for a lot of us out there who have been in the military for any amount of time, we've been running different war belts for quite some time, but your typical war belt is this guy right here. A lot of us have ran these for a long time. They kind of look like weightlifters belts. They're probably about 4 or 5 inches wide, and they don't have much structure to them. They're pretty flimsy, and the only thing that really keeps them on you is that you tension it enough to sit on top of your hips. This one in particular actually has some rubberized lining in it to keep it from sliding around on you. It doesn't really work, but these are your typical, or this is your typical war belt that a lot of us have been running for a long time. And there's a reason I got rid of this. This one in particular, I'm getting rid of it because, well, obviously the moly webbing is just falling to pieces, and I've only had it for about 6 months now. But the Ronin Tactics belt is kind of a whole different concept over your classic war belt. So instead of having 2 different belts, one to slide through the actual war belt and then the outer belt itself, you have one singular belt. And this definitely simplifies your whole setup. But there is actually a liner belt that you can pair with this thing, and it's not necessary, but I would highly recommend you use it. And what it is it goes through your pants or through your belt loops, and it's the loop side of Velcro. And then on the inside of this belt, you can obviously see there is a bunch of hook Velcro. And what that does is that allows you to secure the belt to your actual pants, so there's no chance of this belt twisting around on you. There's no chance of it accidentally loosening up and sliding down and dropping around your ankles or anything like that. That's not going to happen with this belt because of the Velcro lining, but also because this Cobra belt buckle is so overly engineered. There's no chance of the actual slack in this thing coming out and loosening up to the point where it's going to drop on you. I haven't had that happen to me yet. I've had this thing for probably about a month now, and I've been running it at the range. Haven't used it a whole lot for duty purposes yet. If you guys don't know, I've been in the military for about 6 years now, and I've gone through a lot of equipment over the years, and this is probably one of the best pieces of equipment I've purchased. And that sounds kind of like an exaggeration, but honestly guys, I run so much stuff off my belt. My belt is probably one of the most important pieces of equipment I have on my person, and I really like this because not only am I using this thing in the military, but I'm also using this thing for shooting competitions. So I try to shoot 2-gun every other week if I can, and like I said, I've been using this belt for a while, and it just is not a stable platform. It slides around. I've had magazines bounce out on me because this thing just kind of bounces around with my hips instead of staying secured to my hips, and it's just not a very good platform. This guy, on the other hand, incredibly solid, very stable platform because they designed it like a competitive shooter's belt. If you guys can see this, I'm holding it up by the back here, and it's not really sagging on me. If I open it up here, now I don't have a ton of weight in here, but you guys can obviously see that it's holding its shape. It doesn't really want to just flop down, whereas obviously this belt, on the other hand, if I do the same thing, it naturally just doesn't hold any sort of shape. It's very pliable, and it's just an outdated design that needs to be improved upon. A lot of people in the special operations community use this thing. I actually was fortunate enough to meet some guys in the special operations community at the U.S. Army Small Arms Championship, and a few of them had these belts. And that was actually the first time I had seen these. And I always think, well, if they're using it, there's probably a good reason they're using it, and I definitely see why now, because it's probably the best war belt you can get out there. And I've gone through a lot of war belts. Like I said, I've used this guy, I've messed with the Cry Precision belts, I've messed with the HSGI belts, all good belts, but they really don't compare to this guy. For those of you out there in the competitive shooting community thinking about getting this belt, it really is a versatile belt. Now, you may not be able to put some of your attachments on this belt, but for those of you out there who say utilize the Blade Tech Lock system, you can actually use Tech Locks on this belt. It's very easy to attach them. They've sized this belt appropriately so they will fit on here. So that's another advantage to this belt being so thin compared to your classic war belt. So once you get it all clipped in, lock it in, there you go. Now you got, in this case, I just have a karambit on here, but if you're one of those guys that run all of your equipment off of Tech Locks because you can move them around, swap them in and out really quick, this guy isn't going anywhere. It's pretty hard to, like, you can slide it on there, but you actually need to really got to push on it hard to get this thing to slide around. So still offers a great platform. I don't want to say it's just as good as a dedicated competitive shooter's belt, because it really isn't. You're not going to have all that attachment real estate up front because you got this big old Cobra belt buckle in the front here. Molly webbing, I mean, it's good, but it's not the same as using those little magnetic strips that you can attach to your competitive shooter's belt. You might be able to attach them with your Tech Locks, but if you're a competitive shooter out there and that's your thing, I would say stick with your competitive shooter's belt. But if you're like me, you're in the military and you do shooting competitions and you don't want to have two separate belts, this is a great hybrid to get between those two disciplines. But also for those of us in the military, this is a much better option over the classic war belt that we've all been using for years. Like I said, guys, I've been running this thing at the range and I have zero complaints with it or about it so far. It just really is one of the best belts you can get out there right now. So that's it for now, guys. I know this has been a quick review. I hope you guys like the background. I had to do a little bit of hiking to get out here, but I think it was worth it for the view. So that's it for now, guys. If you like the video and all that stuff, do all of the normal things, like, subscribe. Check us out on Instagram. I'll have a link down in the description. And remember to train like you fight.